Good morning. Welcome to Brunch with Brian, your daily live stream, your daily home investing live stream. We talk about buying houses here, buying houses and making good money doing it. And how many houses do you have to buy a month to make a lot of money? One is plenty, the way we teach it, because we love creative financing deals. Here's one of the challenges with creative financing deals, and every deal, is making it stick. So you go out there, you go over there, or you do a virtual deal meeting with the seller and everything looks great and they actually sign the contract, the purchase and sale agreement, and everything looks like a go. But what if you get a call a couple days later and say, well, I showed this agreement to a couple of people. All right, that's invariably what happens when you lose a deal, is other parties start to make their voices known. There's a couple of things I'm going to talk about today to help you make the deal stick. So I'm going to talk about seller stick, the steps to making a deal stick with a seller. So that's what it's important. It's also, I like to commemoralize the day of the day. Today is Dress Up Your Pet Day. It's also Organize Your Home Day. And you know, I've talked a lot about organizing, just a lot lately. It seems like last week I've talked about organizing your desk and organizing your house. And there's one thing I neglected to mention on that, is I want you to actually make a goal of organizing one or two, if you're ambitious, areas in your house every week. So actually have it as a regular habit that like every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock I go, or just try to work it in. But even if it's just your junk drawer, okay, whose junk drawer really needs to be organized? All right, let's make that the goal for this week, but one a week. So we may actually get a dressed up pet in here. I don't know, somebody might be working on that. So we'll see. But now for the topic of the day, stick campaign for sellers. There's a couple things that you can do. And part of it is having very assumptive. Number one, I'm going to give you 4 things, okay? 4 items that are going to help you make the deal for sure stick and not make the seller have wandering eyes. Because does the phone stop ringing the second they sign that contract with you? Nope, it doesn't. Now they immediately, there's a couple of things I want you to do. I want you to get their Zillow. Actually, I should put that on this list. Okay, I'm going to put that on here. So here's the stick campaign. Number 1, I'm going to tell you, have assumptive posture and language. And assumptive, like this is a done deal. Okay, that's what your body language and your language, your verbal language should be, is this is a done deal. Okay, so write that down. Number 1, convey with everything you have in you, your body language and what you say, that this is a done deal. Okay, when they sign that agreement. Remember, we're talking about you've got the signed agreement, but when is it really a for sure done deal? I mean, you might think you can go back and sue them for specific performance and say, no, you signed this agreement, you have to sell me that house. Wrong. I mean, that'll get fought out in court and you pretty much might lose. And, it's very hard to force someone to sell you their house. Pretty much you're going to lose that case. So don't even think that way, that you're never going to force someone. And besides, if they back out, it's just going to be a nightmare anyway. So that's not a deal you want if they don't want to do it. This has to be a win-win for everybody. That's all of these deals. But now that doesn't mean that they don't get distracted and they don't maybe hear some better offer by somebody else who's trying to entice them. So that stuff can happen, but not if they have a firm conception in their mind that this is a done deal. So just write down under number 1, where you wrote down assumptive, posture and language. Write down, this is a done deal. So that's what you're trying to convey. This is a done deal, dude. All right, so number 2, I want you to remember this is at their house or also a virtual deal meeting. So this is even more important. I'm telling you, if you're doing virtual deal meetings where, we are doing these, a lot of our students, we have business in other states. And so you have to be able to get somebody on a video chat and close the deal. A seller on a video chat is basically how you're closing that deal. And so you really need a stick campaign then, because it might seem to them, well, I just sold my house over the phone, and I have some agreements here that I signed and I'm sending back, or that I did on DocuSign. And I'm going to try to remember to talk about DocuSign. DocuSign's a good idea, especially if you're doing any kind of volume of deals. More than one deal a month is worth it. But DocuSign will help you on both ends, buying and selling. Now, can you do DocuSign and to have them sign the deed? I don't know any place, any county in the nation that's going to take a DocuSign deed. Okay, so you need a physical signature. Remember, they're signing over the interests on a house. So this is a pretty big deal, and it has to be notarized. And so that's not something you can click a DocuSign box and deed over your house. So the time between, you've got a ticking clock going between the time they sign your purchase and sale agreement, which they may have done via DocuSign, and that's okay by me if they sign the purchase and sale agreement that way. But then you've got a ticking clock between that and when you get that title work back. Remember, on a Pretty House creative financing deal, you're not waiting for financing. You've already got some kind of financing worked out with the seller. So really, you're just waiting to get the title report back to make sure it's clean title so that you can transfer ownership of the property. So you get your title checked as fast as possible. In some areas, you might do this in 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours maybe. So get that back as fast as possible. I'm not going to need that for a little bit. And as soon as you get it back, then you should have that signing set up with the seller. Now, I will tell you, that's one of my later steps here. Okay, so number one is assumptive posture and language, and this is a done deal. Number two is this is in conjunction with that. I want you to say congratulations several times. And so write that down. Say congratulations several times to that seller. Congratulations, Mr. Seller. You sold your house. Congratulations, congratulations. And if it's, if you're in a position to do so, which you may or may not be, shake hands. The more you can make it feel like, wow, we consummated this great deal. It should be an emotional thing. You can pop a cork. If it's a virtual call, you can say, yay, Mr. Seller, here I have some champagne. Pop the cork, or whatever you can do to make them feel invested that this is a done deal with you. Okay, and now, so congratulations, that's number two. Congratulations, shake hands, anything you can do. And if you can think of some other ritual or something, anything you can make them feel like, I sold my house, yay, this is a done deal, remember? Okay, now number three, this is a really big key on this, and it will really help them feel like they sold their house and it's done, is get them to turn over their Zillow listing and their Nextdoor listing to you on the spot in the deal meeting, whether it's virtual or you're sitting right there. Take over the Zillow listing. They just have to go into their account and check a couple things on Zillow that it's sold and that that it's released the listing. So they check that, and then you can claim the listing. And so right there, a lot of that may be one of the most crucial steps along this path here, because that really can make them feel like this is kaput. I don't have to deal with any of that Zillow stuff or any of that junk anymore. So that's a lot of times that's what people are striving for. So, and Nextdoor, don't forget the Nextdoor posting listing as well, their Nextdoor account. Get that. That's getting to be more and more popular depending on where you live, but that's a pretty popular means of social media right now that we use a lot. So get both their Zillow and Nextdoor accounts. Okay, number four, and this is a big one. I want you to send this seller congratulations letter in this. Now, this is one of the things that comes in our systems. It's called a deal meeting guide. Now, we didn't always have this deal meeting guide, but we have it now. So if you have the what to say and what to do system, but you don't have this is a newer evolution. And so this has all the deal meeting scripts encapsulated, and here's your seller file checklist, and it has your seller congratulations letter. If you don't have this and you want this, maybe you don't even have any of our systems, but there's one system, there's sort of a abbreviated system that you can get this with that's pretty affordable. But all you guys who have the what to say and what to do system should have this. And you should also have that script tablet that I talk about sometimes. So definitely call the office and get this, 888-RICH now. So here on page 4 is the congratulations letter. So that's step 4. And I want you to absolutely do this congratulations letter, okay? And send it. Now, you may be sitting right there with the seller, and if you are, I want you to hand it to them on the spot. Give them that seller congratulations letter and say, hey, great. And it says on here, congratulations. And then it lists some things that you have to collect from them, some of which you will have already gotten. But if it's a virtual deal, meaning that's more important than ever, you need, some of their bank statements, stuff like, if it's a vacant house, you need stuff like the mailbox key and stuff like that. So there's 7 items that you're going to ask from them. And this seller congratulations letter, sometimes, because remember, they may have pictures of the documents on their phone, because you're taking the originals that got signed and you're not bringing a copy machine. So that's pretty much how they get their copies. And so, they're telling their friends and people, and they're talking about it, and they're saying, hey, I sold my house and stuff. But if they have this letter, it sounds silly, right? That it's just one piece of paper, but somehow that's like, okay, this is proof I sold my house. And, and I've got these pictures on my phone of all the docs. So that's somehow enough. But if you leave them just nothing and you say, well, see you later, somehow it doesn't feel as much like they sold their house, okay? So that's why this seller congratulations letter, at least it's something that they can physically hold, and you can email it to them, obviously, if you're doing a virtual. Okay, so that's a big one. That's number 4. And number 5, just get the secondary closing. Remember, I talked about the ticking clock. Get that next closing, which is the actual deed being deeded, the house being deeded over to you, as close as possible in time to the actual signing of the purchase and sale agreement. And if you can do it, remember, you have to pull title, but if you're taking the house as is, which with these pretty houses, they're already pretty, and maybe you're going to do a little stuff, maybe you might do a little pretty house polish on it or something, but basically you want to close on it. These are nothing down deals, no credit. The only thing, no lenders are involved. The only thing holding you up is getting that clean title back, and then you can schedule that closing. So if on this last item here, number 5, if you want to write in that you can actually, if you're pretty confident about when your attorney can do signing appointments, you can actually just tell them, hey, I got a signing appointment for you, in 4 days on Friday at 3 p.m. And just tell them when it is, right then on the spot. Now, that's a good part of a stick campaign, because then they'll feel like, oh, okay, I have a hard appointment to go in and deed my house over to these people. This was one of the most important ones to you, brunches with Brian ever, because people lose deals. I mean, you think when you get that purchase and sale contract signed with that seller that yay, and you pop the bubbly, but people lose deals. Deals fall out. Other people start yakking in the background. Attorneys get involved. Stuff like that happens. So the more you can make them feel like this is a done deal. Remember, write that down again. This is a done deal. That's what you're trying to convey. Don't say that to them. This is a done deal. Might make them think, is it? No, but it is. And that's what you want to keep conveying all along the way. So this was a really good one. It was a stick campaign, 5 items for a stick campaign for sellers to make sure that your sellers stick with you after you get the agreement signed. So what a great brunch with Brian. Now we're going to be back on later today with Thursday's Live with the Wolffs. So definitely be on that. That's going to be 7 hours and 15 minutes from now at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Time. And we're going to have a really awesome session today. Don't miss it. A couple of weeks ago, we were out at a property. Remember, you can go back on the Facebook or the YouTube and watch these Thursdays live, and some of them are really awesome. Go check out the one from 2 weeks ago where we were going through one of our houses. Or last week, Lynette's talking about being a master caller and how she's so good at that. So those are really valuable trainings. So definitely be on the one today, and we'll see you then. And we'll also see you on Brunch with Brian, of course, every morning at this same time. So I will see you at both of those. Until then, keep expecting success, getting awesome training like you do right here with us, and taking lots of action.